Hey everybody, it's Beth. Today I'm using some fabrics, a wood slice, and a dowel. I started with my ticking fabric, this I got from Amazon, and I cut a big section out. And I end up trimming it down to about 7 inches by 10 inches. So I'm folding it in half, making sure that the longer side of the fabric has the stripes going horizontally. And I have it folded inside out, so the nicer part of the fabric is on the inside. And I take some fabric hot glue and glue one of the ends together, the shorter end. I then trim up the other side, which is bringing it down to my 7 by 10. And I hot glue the opposite end. I then partially glue together the bottom, leaving a space in the middle so I can flip it right side out. So once the glue is fully cooled down, I end up having to open it up a little bit more so I can tuck the fabric through. It's a thicker fabric. So I just push it so all the nicer side of the fabric is going to be on the outside, but you won't see any of that glue. The edges will be a lot cleaner. I then take some of this blue and white fabric, also from Amazon, and I cut a little square out of it. It's about 2.5 by 2.5. I didn't really measure, I just went by how it looked on my fabric. I trim around the edges and then pull apart the edges so they're a little bit frayed. To attach the fabric together, I'm using Tacky glue that I get from Dollar Tree. I'm just using a paintbrush and brushing it on the back side of my star fabric. And then once I have that completely covered on the back side of that, I then place it down on the top left corner of my other fabric. I smooth it out with my hands, making sure it's where I want it, and then I use my heating tool to dry that glue. And I wanted a little bit more of a rustic look, so I took some antique wax by Waverly, and I'm just using this applicator and getting a lot of it off of the stamp and then brushing it on all of the sides of this flag. I did the front and the back and tried to get some on the edges. And then just used a baby wipe to kind of blend it all in together. I then take some fiber fill that I got from Walmart and I put it into the flag. And I don't fill it all the way. I just partially filled it, trying to make sure to get in all those little corners and pushing it more to the sides. And then take this 3/16 inch dowel and add some hot glue to the top of that and place it inside the flag. Trying to get it as centered as possible. I then take more fiber fill and fill it in the rest of the way. Just getting it all around that dowel on the front and the back of it. After I have that filled, I need to glue together the bottom. And again, I'm using fabric hot glue, but you can just use regular hot glue. So I have the end of the fabric on the bottom tucked in, and then I just glue those two pieces together. And then take some antique wax and use a baby wipe and kind of just brush it along the dowel. Just a real thin layer on there. And set that aside. And then take a 3/16 inch drill bit and drill a hole in the center of the wood slice I have. And then I wanted to cut down the dowel a little bit. I probably cut about 2.5 to 3 inches off, just however tall you want it. Then add some quick hold glue inside that hole and place down the dowel. That's it for this project. Thank you so much for watching.